Hey everybody, Father Scott Vanderveer here with the next installment on our short series on aging gracefully. One of the things that we can do with the developmental stages of aging, and I say this to you recording this at age 50, just having turned 50. So doing a lot of thinking about where have I been? Where am I going? How much of life lies ahead? What do I want to do with it? And I recently went to a conference where we did a guided meditation that I found incredibly helpful. And I'm grateful to the spiritual author Elizabeth Gilbert for sharing this idea with us. Here is what we did. We sat quietly and got ourselves centered. If you'd like to know how to do that and aren't sure, you might want to check out the video called 54321, which is a great way to pay attention to our senses so that we can power right down and focus on the moment we're in. But we got ourselves quieted, and then we imagined that we could time travel to visit ourselves in the future. And we were allowed to pick whatever age we wanted to be. I chose an 85-year-old in the future. We could pick where they were, what they were doing, and we had to imagine that they were wise and joyful. That was the challenge, to imagine that the older version of myself is wise and joyful, and that could happen no matter where they were. Perhaps they're in a nursing home, but they're doing it wise and joyfully. Maybe they're in a place by the ocean with the waves crashing. Whatever it was, we were to imagine them doing it wisely and joyfully. And then we were encouraged to imagine that we were invited to sit down for a cup of tea with this older version of ourselves, and we're invited to ask them 3 questions. The first question, and I'll invite you to do this exact same exercise. Imagine you're speaking with an older, wiser version of yourself. Ask this question to that version of you. How do I get through the hardest thing that I'm going through right now? How do I make it through the hardest thing that I'm facing right now? I don't need to tell you what that could be. It could be a divorce. It could be a bout of cancer. It could be a betrayal. It could be a rickety job situation. It could be money problems. It could be anything. Ask your older self, how do I get through the hardest thing I'm facing right now? And then imagine that your wiser, older version of yourself is giving you the answer. It's funny that I found it hard to say wiser and I wanted to say wilder. You heard me do it twice. Maybe I'm supposed to say that. Maybe there's a wildness to your older version. Somebody who's not afraid of much. That could be instructive too. The next question. Look that older, wiser, wilder version of yourself in the eye and ask, what do I need to do so that I can become you? What do I need to do so that I become who you are? I make the developmental stage leap forward appropriately. What would they say? And the third question, you know yourself so well, you could say to your older self, what is something you know about yourself that I don't yet know about myself? What if the 50-year-old version of me could ask the 85-year-old version of me, what's something I don't know about myself yet? How would your older, wiser, wilder self respond? Aren't those good questions? Doesn't that make you want to get someone you're close to in your life. Maybe you have a best friend. I hope that you do. If you don't, maybe there's somebody really kind from church or somebody that you've gotten to know well in the neighborhood. Wouldn't it be a fascinating thing to have a conversation with them about this? The more you have in common in your values, the better that conversation will be. But it could be with anybody because we're all humans. We all come from God and we're all developmentally changing. What a great thing to talk about at a dinner party with people that you feel close to or people with whom you'd like to feel closer. What a great way to experience a real, natural human commonality and be able to hear what other people are saying. It might be too personal for some people, and that's great. How wonderful for them to share as much as they feel comfortable and save the rest for themselves. I hope that this exercise strikes you as valuable. I know that I'm excited about it. And I hope that it makes you want to make a list of more questions that you would ask your future self. This could be an endless list. After all, that conversation is going to go on forever. We're always going to be in dialogue with ourselves about what matters. So let us do it bravely and wisely. May God bless you on this journey, and may God be with you for all of the stages that lie ahead.